So I got back from visiting my dad. My vacation was kind of cut short. Um, the reason why I was cut short is because my stepmom feels that she can kick me and my brother out of the house because she doesn't like us. Simply on the fact that she doesn't like us. Not that we're bad children or anything like that. And I kind of was seeing this coming throughout the course of the week because she's been very cold. Like, if somebody says hi to you, don't you say hi back? Like, that's just common courtesy, right? So I come into the house, I say hi to my uh, two sisters, and I say hi to her. Now, she just flat out ignores me. Doesn't even acknowledge that I've walked into the room. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And the thing that makes me angry is my brother saw that she didn't say anything to me, so he just went downstairs. The thing that makes me angry is my dad came up and got him and told him to say hi to her. He said hi to her. Did she say anything back? No. So the whole week she'd been harassing me, making like rude comments under her breath. But like the last few days building up to like the argument, she was particularly rude. The first started off when my sister, who barely gets to see us, we only see her maybe twice a year, maybe even four times a year. And she barely gets to see us. She came. I go downstairs to see my brother in the basement because he was kicked out of his room because as more siblings come, we can't stay on the upper level close to where the parents are. The babies take priority. So of course my room of I don't know like 8 years, it's gonna be gone soon because then baby's gonna take it. So the next baby's gonna take it because she's pregnant. Lovely, isn't it? And so I go downstairs to see my brother in the basement. My sister comes in, she follows us, she wants to play. Apparently she learned something new at school, shadow animals, so she likes turning off the lights and trying to make shadows on the wall. So we were doing that for a bit, and she thought it would be funny to slide on the bed, because there's a bed in the room that hasn't been set up. It's just like been there, even though there's another like bed with a frame and everything set up in there. Um, so she slides and and she's like, help me. And so we pretend to go save her. And then she'd like to hide and just play in that bed. And so her mom comes down and she's like calling her, but we can't hear because we have the TV on in my brother's room and his room is relatively soundproof. Now, she comes in, slams the door open, and she's like, "Wow, when you guys aren't normally here, my kids have a schedule, okay? I don't know if you're used to anything like that, but my kids have a schedule, and I need them to be upstairs eating right now, and they need to go to sleep." And then I'm like, okay. So I pick her up. She hasn't even been down here for more than 10 minutes. She had been at daycare the whole day, even though me and my brother stayed at home by ourselves the entire day, and we offered to take care of them. And so I hand her the child while she still keeps yelling at me and my brother, and she takes my sister up, and yeah, while she's taking her up, she's talking to my sister in her language because she's from another country, and just talking to her about me and my brother. It's pretty obvious. And yeah, and from that point on, my sister has hesitated to come near me and my brother. Now, um, the next day, because I told my dad what happened, and he's just like, well, it's her first day back to work since she's been off her maternity leave. She's very stressed out. So I've been nice. I try to cook. I get kicked out of the kitchen, even though prepared something, like I'd prepped it. And so I let her finish cooking. Everybody eats. I clean the table, whatever. There's some like the dishes that still contain the food haven't been cleaned yet because they're still on the counter. But my dad emptied them, put them in the sink. But I finished cooking. I had to finish cooking what I'd prepped. So I did that, and it's like a bread. You know how dough kind of sticks to plastic? and you have to let it soak. So it hadn't been in the sink for more than 2 minutes. My dad sees the dish and he's like, "Well, what's this?" And I was like, "Well, I just like made this bread and it needs to soak." And he's like, "Okay, whatever." And then I was like, "You can leave it for me. I'll get it after." But he's clearing the dishes, and then he's like, "No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got it." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah." So then I had tea left out there, and he's like, "Well, are you gonna drink this? Or because if not, then just I'm gonna throw it away. If you don't drink it by the time I'm done these dishes, I'm just gonna throw it away." So he's like, I'm like, "Okay, I'll drink it." And he's like, "Okay, well, go drink it over there." So I'm drinking it, and I'm like watching TV, and my dad's doing the dishes. He's watching TV too, and then she comes in and she's like, "See, this is what I don't like. Your kids are so lazy. They don't know how to clean. They don't know how to do anything. You always do everything for." And I'm like, "Excuse me. If you have a problem with me, I'm right here. We can talk like adults. Don't need to yell. I'm right here, just talking." And then she's like waving her finger, swearing, calling me ungrateful and lazy and all these names, and just like she called us assholes and was like swearing at us, and we were being like, me and my brother have been nothing but respectful to her any time. Like even during this argument, I did not swear at her once. And then she has the nerve to talk about, "You see me 4 times in a year and suddenly you know me, you know my character? Really?" And I'm selfish and ungrateful and lazy. I only see my dad 4 times in a year, and I used to see him twice a month. Every other weekend we'd go see my dad. Every major holiday, we'd go see my dad. Does that happen anymore? No. And I'm the one who's selfish, ungrateful. Um my 18th birthday, I got nothing. Nothing. My sister's third birthday, her birthday party cost more than $1,000. She had an inflatable moon bounce, and like it literally looked like there was Chuck E. Cheese in the basement. And I'm spoiled. I'm ungrateful. I clean up after you all the time, and I'm lazy. And then she's just like, "Well, what do you do? What do you do?" And like, she's like, "Do you cook?" Well, if I cook, I clean, I do the laundry. If I do everything, what's left for you to do? What do you do? That's what I don't get. That's what she didn't get. And then when I called her out on, is because she's saying that I'm rude and I'm disrespectful, I called her out on her not saying hi back to me. And then she said I had a hearing problem and then started swearing at me and then calling me a liar. And then when my brother said no, she's telling the truth, she's just like, "Oh, you're a liar. You don't talk, so you don't know anything." I'm like, what kind of logic is this? And then she's saying to get out of her house. To get out of her house. Even though the house was there before her. We were there before her. Like, that's what I don't get. People, if you have kids, your kids should be your number one priority. Especially if they're good kids. Not just that, if you marry somebody who has kids, you have to understand you're going to be second to those kids. Yeah, I can get it. You're going to be angry and have some resentment. But if those kids make an effort to welcome you into the family, the least you can do is be civil and pretend that you like them. Nobody told you to marry a person who has kids. That's what she doesn't understand. And she expects me to be grateful that she married my dad. And if you guys knew the circumstances of how she married my dad, I wouldn't. It's nothing to be proud of. So I don't get her problem. And she's like, "Oh, I've been trying for the past 4 years." You haven't been trying. For Christmas, I bought her Victoria's Secret lotion a couple years ago. And this is when I was making minimum wage and I was going to school and I couldn't work that much. So I had to save to buy that gift for her. And it was like a gift set. And she buys me $20 pajamas. I am 5'9", and she bought me extra small pajama bottoms and an extra large top. Now, if that's not a slap in the face, I don't know what is. I'm telling you, Cinderella has got nothing on me because my stepmom I even if I had an issue with you, I never said anything out of respect for my father. But like, it's your house. Get out of my house. These are my kids. So if they're solely your kids, then I guess if I have no blood relation to them, I guess that means my dad doesn't either. So you need to be careful with what you say. I don't know. I don't know. I've just This is something that's just made me really angry, and I'm I'm just like furious. And this happened maybe a couple days ago. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think I should do? Do you think I should just pretend like nothing happened, or uh, go on the aggressive, or what do you do? My brother's already made this decision. He's not going to see my dad again, and if my dad's still with her, like my dad can come visit us. That's the only way my brother's going to see him. But I don't know. My sisters do mean a lot to me. I do love them. And notice how I call them my sisters? She really emphasizes the half part. Like, to me, I don't know. It, I don't see what the big deal is. If I love them, they're my sisters. I don't know why you need to stress half. I don't know why you need to make everything a competition. I don't know why you think that because they're yours, they're so much better. I don't know. What do you guys think? If you guys have experience with step parents, I'd really like to know. I mean, I know that I'm an adult now, but the thing is, I don't want to cut my father out of my life. Like, when I get married, when I have kids, I mean, parents are supposed to be with you forever, not just once you're 18, they're out of your life. So, what do you guys think? Sorry this video is so long, but yeah. Please leave a comment, message me. I don't care if you rate it, whatever. I just, yeah.